The microphone ছিল
স্যার আপনি বলেছিলেন তো তখন সিটিং অবস্থায় আমি প্লিজ স্টার্ট করছি দাঁড়াইছেন তো এই জন্য
No problem. Who wants to read? Right. Who wants to read today? আপনি পড়েন. Did she believe in fate? Did she believe in fate? What forces govern the course of history after that? Go to the next page, you'll find it. See the three little questions? The three questions, after the three questions, yes. Did you find it?
Did she believe in fate? She was not at Oxford, but she knew of people who did. There was a girl in her class who read the horoscopes in the magazines. But if they believe in astrology, they probably believed in fate as well. Because astrologer claimed that the position of the stars influenced people lived on Earth.
People's lives on Earth.
Lives on Earth. If you believe that a black cat crossing your path means bad luck, well, then you believe in fate, didn't you? As she thought about you. Several more examples of fatalism occurred to her. Why do so many people knock on wood? For example, and why was Friday the 13th and an unlucky day? Sophie had heard that lots of hotels had no room number 13. It had to be because so many people were superstitious.
Stitches.
What as a strange word, if you believe in Christianity and or Islam, it was a called faith. But if you believe in astrology, Friday the 13th, it was a superstition. Who had the right to other people believe in superstition? So,
Who had the right to call other people's beliefs superstition?
Sophie was sure of one thing, though Democritus had no believed in fate. He was a materialist. He had only believed in atoms and
Empty space.
empty space.
Okay. Let's stop for a moment. What is superstition? Superstition?
অন্ধবিশ্বাস
No. Kushangskar is superstition, basically. Alright? So, Sophie is basically thinking, the number 13 is considered to be unlucky.
আনলাকি ইয়া
So, she's thinking, what is this? Is this superstition? Then, she's also thinking about black cat. Some people believe that black cats bring bad luck.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, is this superstition? These are all questions that she is asking, or is it possible that these things actually bring bad luck? Okay.
So we try to think about the other questions from the north. Is sickness the punishment of the gods? Surely nobody believe that nowadays. But it occurred to her that many people thought help to pray for the recovery. So at any rate, they must believe God had some power over people's health. The last question was harder to answer. Sophie never did much thought to what governed the course of history. It had to people surely, if it was a god or fate. People had no free will, and the idea of free will made Sophie think of something else. Why should she put up with this mysterious philosopher playing cat and mouse with her. Why couldn't she write a letter to him? He or she
Would.
would it quite probably put another week involved in the mailbox during the night or sometime tomorrow morning. She would see to it that and there was a letter ready for this person. Sophie began right away. It was difficult to write to someone and had never seen.
She had never seen.
She had never seen, and she didn't even know if it was a man or woman, and or if he or she was old or young. For that matter, the mysterious and philosopher could even be someone she already
Knew.
She wrote. Most respect philosopher, your generous correspondence and course in philosophy is greatly appreciated by us here. But it bothers us not to know who you are. We therefore request you and to ask your full name. Use your full name. In return, we would like to extend our hospitality should you care to come.
সকাল বিশেষ কয়েকজন আসছে চলে গেছে কেন চলে যাবে কেন
Come and have coffee with us, but preferably and when my mother is at home. She is at work from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day from Monday to Friday. I am not at school. I am at school during these days, but I am always home by 2:15 p.m. except on Thursday. I am also very good at making coffee. Thanking you in advance.
Thanking
You in advance, I remain.
Your attentive student.
I remain
Yes?
attentive student.
Sir, can you say how to pronounce thank you?
Thanking you in advance.
It's just pronouncing. Thank you.
Sir, pronouncing posh way.
Sorry? Continue. Thank you in advance. Thanking you in advance. Continue.
At the bottom of the page, she wrote.
You didn't read the look. You missed 2 or 3 lines here. Start from thanking you.
Your attentive student, Sophie Amondes.
Amundsen.
At the bottom of the page, she wrote. Sophie feels that the letter turned out not too formal, but it was hard to know which word to choose when writing to person and without a face. She put the letter in a pink envelope and addressed it to the philosopher. The problem was where to put it, so her mother didn't find it. She would have to wait for her to get home before putting it in the mailbox. And she would also have to remember to look in the mailbox early the next morning before the newspaper arrived if no new letter and came for her this evening for during the night. She would have to take the pink envelope in again. Why didn't it all have to be so complicated? That evening, Sophie went up to her room early. Even though it was a Friday, her mother tried to tempt her the pizza and thriller on TV. But Sophie said she was tired and wanted to go to bed and read. While her mother sat watching TV, she sneaked out to the mailbox with her letter. Her mother was clearly worried, and she had to started speaking to Sophie in different tones since the business. with the white rabbit and the top hat. Sophie hated to be a worry to her mother, but she just had to go upstairs and keep an eye on the windows. When her mother came up at about the 11 o'clock, Sophie was sitting at the window, staring down the road. You were not still sitting there, staring at the
Staring.
staring. And Milgo, she said, I can look at the whatever I like. I really think you must be in love, Sophie, but if he is going to bring you another letter, he certainly won't come in the middle of the night. Yeah, Sophie loathed at all that
Soppy talk.
soppy talk about love, but she had to. Soppy talk means?
Sophie means, how do I explain this? Don't you guys use this word cringy?
Yes.
Okay, cheesy. That's what soppy means basically.
Is it like informal?
Soppy is more formal. The words I used are more like, for example, cheesy is informal.
Let her mother go on believing it was true. Is he the one who told you about the rabbit and the top hat? Her mother asked. Sophie nodded. He doesn't do drugs, does he? Now Sophie feels really sorry for her mother. She couldn't go on letting her worry this way. Although it was completely nutty of her to think that just because someone had a slightly bizarre idea, he must be on something. Grown-ups really were idiotic sometimes.
But are grown-ups sometimes really idiotic? Yes? When they ask a 15-year-old, is your friend on drugs? Is that a stupid question to ask? Yes? Okay.
Sir, before that.
Because 15-year-olds don't do drugs. Yeah.
Yes.
RSVP.
What does it mean, RSVP?
Acronyms.
What? Your activity is student. Sophie
In the first line.
Oh, okay.
On the face, she wrote RSVP.
Nice.
Oh, good point. Yes.
It's kind of letter or something.
It's an acronym for something. I'm not exactly sure what she means by RSVP, to be honest.
So we can.
Is it possible that it's the address or her name? Sophie. Good question. I have no idea. We have to figure this out sometime later.
Yeah, inshallah.
Yeah, sorry, please continue.
She said, Mom, I promise you, once and for all, I will never do any of the stuff. And he doesn't either, but he is very interested in philosophy. Is he older than you? Sophie shook her head. The same age. Sophie nodded. Well, I'm sure he is very sweet, darling. Now, I think you should try and get some sleep. But Sophie stayed sitting by the window for what seemed like hours. At last she could hardly keep her eyes open. It was on o'clock. She was just about to go to bed when she suddenly caught sight of shadow emerging from the woods. Although it was almost dark outside, she could make out the shape of a human figure. It was a man, and Sophie thought he looked quite old. He was certainly not her age. He was wearing a beret
Of some kind. Okay. So, this philosopher is not her age. So this philosopher is a bit old, as you might expect. Because it would be unusual if a 15-year-old knew so much about philosophy, obviously. Yes, continue.
He could have he glanced up at the house, But Sophie's light was not on. The man went straight up to the mailbox and dropped a big envelope into it. As he let go of it, he caught sight of Sophie's letters.
Sophie's letter.
Sophie's letter. He reached down into the mailbox and fished it out. And the next minute, he was walking swiftly back to tower and
Toward the woods.
The woods. He hurried down the woodland and forth and was gone. Sophie felt her heart pounding, and her first instinct was to run after him in her pajamas, but she didn't dare run after a stranger in the middle of the night. But she did have to go out the fetch the envelope. After a minute or two, she crept down the stairs and opened the.
And there's no and. Don't make up words. Crept down the words. Open the front door quietly.
Opened the front door quietly and ran to the mailbox. In a flash, she was back in her room with the envelope in her hand. She sat on her bed, holding her breath. Holding her breath. After a few minutes had passed and all was still quiet in the house, she opened the letter and began to read. And she knew this could not be an answer to her own letter that could not arrive until tomorrow. Good morning once again, my dear Sophie. In case you should get my ideas, let me make it quite clear that you must never attempt to check up on me. One day we will meet, but I shall be the one to decide when and where. And that final, you are not going to disobey me, are you?
Okay, let's stop here for a moment. So what did Sophie do now?
Maybe he is trying to know that who is the person is. So, and the philosopher says that I will decide that they wait to meet.
When and where to meet.
Okay, but how does Sophie get the letter? How and when?
Is at the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. So Sophie had been waiting for a long time, keeping an eye on the mailbox. For a long time, nobody shows up. And then suddenly she finds that an old guy is going to the mailbox to deliver another envelope. And that's when he realizes that her mail has come. So in the middle of the night, she goes and gets the envelope. So the thought crosses her that can I chase after this person? But then this person is a stranger, and so she doesn't really go outside to chase this person. Okay.
But to return to the philosopher, we have seen how they try to find natural explanation for the transformation in nature. Previously, this thing had been explained through myths. Old superstition and had to be cleared away in other areas as well. We see them at work in matters of sickness and health as well as in the political events. In both these areas, the Greeks were great beliefs in fatalism, and fatalism is the belief that whatever happens is predestined, and we find this belief all over the world, not only throughout history but in our own day as well. Here in the Nordic countries, we find a strong belief in land mandate, or fate in the old Icelandic sagas of the
Edda. Okay, so the idea of fate, the idea of fatalism is something that is. Sorry?
It's a predestined of
Predestined. Destiny. What is destiny?
That means kind of pre-decided.
Pre-decided.
Predestination is exactly. Pre-decided. And that the events in your life are already decided. That's predestination. Or your future is already decided. That is predestination. So this is not something this is not an idea that only people in Islamic countries believe, but people in other cultures also believe, like the Nordic countries, for example, in this book, where we find the idea, what is it called? Lagnadan or fate, in the old Icelandic sagas of the Edda. Okay, continue.
We also find the belief both in ancient Greece and in other parts of the world that people could learn their fate from some form of the oracle. In other words, that the fate of a person or a country could be foreseen in various ways. There are still a lot of people who believe that they can tell your fortune in the cards, read your palm, or predict your fortune in the
Future in the stars.
Future in the star. A special Norwegian version of this is telling your fortune in coffee cups. When a coffee cup is empty, there are
Empty.
there are usually some trace of coffee grounds left. This might form a certain image or pattern of least.
At least.
At least, if we give our imagination free rein. If the ground resemble a card, it might mean that the person who drank from the cup is going for a long drive. Thus, the fortune teller is trying to foresee something that is really quite unprofitable. This is the characteristics of all forms of foreseeing. And precisely because what they see is so vague, it is hard to
Vague.
It is hard to repudiate fortune teller claims.
Acha, okay, stop. What is repudiate? Repudiate. No. Repudiate হচ্ছে বকা দেওয়া বা to scold. Exactly. What is fortune? What is fortune telling in Bangla? There's Jyotishi. Jyotishi is the proper Bangla here. The study of fortune telling is Jyotividya. Okay.
So did you see in Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets?
I have.
So fortune in coffee cup was shown in that book, Chamber of Secrets.
Tea cup.
Coffee cup.
Tea leaves. That's the reading of tea leaves. This and that are different. So British people drink a lot of tea. That's why they have tea leaves. So what do you guys think of fortune telling? Do you guys think that this is true or something?
Sir,
to an extent?
You'll find many people that they wear rings to control their fate, something like that.
Yes.
হাত দেখা যেটা read the palm. Your palm.
Palmistry.
Yeah.
Yes, there are people like that, but I'm asking you guys, what do you guys think? What do you guys believe in? Yes?
It's just business, nothing.
Yes, you sure? Are you
It's just business, yeah.
okay? All right. Nobody here believes in these things?
No.
We should
I have some kind.
Yes, let's hear it.
তো স্যার মানে এটা মানে কি বলে এটা কনসিকোয়েন্স বা কোইন্সিডেন্স বলে মানে
Yes, tell me about it. Let's hear it. What are you referring to exactly?
So even if we give a slap,
so some kind of belief, but I cannot explain.
so if we give
Some
a
kind
slap,
of, I'm not totally believe. 20%, just a 20% thing.
Let's hear the 20%.
sir, you will see in every newspaper, like there will be a section, Rashi.
Hmm.
Okay, I don't know why did they give this kind of section. But they believe it because lots of people believe it. Especially, sorry, I don't know to explain.
Why did you? Oh my God, this is. Look, I'll tell you what I think actually. I think there might be some truth to these things. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, sir, describe.
In English, okay?
Yes, sir.
sir, we will do many things in a day, which has some part of good and bad. If something is writing in newspaper, like fortune teller or something else, they are writing first. You face a good things, and then later you feel some bad things. If you go to outside. So, sir, in a day we can face a lot of things, in good, bad, and other things mix up. So it might be some true or some other things. So why should we believe it proper way? It could be happen at the day, like truly, blindly. So I think not. It's late.
But you know I feel like there might be some ground for belief. Let me explain my position here.
Okay.
Do you guys believe in amulets, tabij?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I believe in Tabij. I believe in
I
Tabij.
believe.
I believe in Tabij.
See,
Okay.
see, no,
Please.
stop. Wait. Let me
Talk
just
about your perception.
But in a কিছু সবার জন্য স্বাভাবিক
listen. I did not give you permission to speak in Bangla.
Please speak in English.
Sorry, I can't properly.
I can see that you're good at speaking, but you know, you don't be lazy, all right? I dislike lazy people. Don't be lazy. Okay, where was I?
Sir, in your perception.
Yes, what do you think? Do you believe in this stuff?
So to be honest, I believe in black magic. These things are real. So if anyone understands black magic and he or she try to know about myself, so it could be true. But like what they are saying,
Yeah, black
picture
magic is
in the newspaper is they are talking about. I don't think
No. I understand. It doesn't have to be that specific. I'm saying in general. Do you think it might be possible that whenever you go to certain places, you don't feel very good,
sir, it's possible.
and it may be because of some amulet?
Exactly, sir.
You get my point, right? So you see, this is where I am not completely convinced that everything is not completely superstition, because I also, and I understand these things are hard to explain. My mom believes in what do you call it, evil eye or kunojor, as it is.
We all are believing in evil eye.
Yes, sir.
So you know, so we say superstition and things like that, but some of it might be true. It's kind of hard to pinpoint where things are true and where things are false. Kind of, it becomes very unclear at some point.
Even sir, according to Quran, there are a lot like Surah Nas. There are about we should make dua to protect ourselves from Almighty Allah. So it's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Even our Prophet has fallen in sick about the black magic from a Jewish women. So that's how it does work.
True.
You guys are real.
Zodiac.
What do you guys think about zodiac? Yeah, zodiac. What do you guys think of it? What do you think of it?
Kind of something I related.
You kind of believe in it.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think? No? Why not though? I want to know your position on this. Why do you guys not believe in zodiac?
So what is it actually, sir?
Rashi.
Oh, Rashi.
It's like sir, the person who is doing it, it might be strategy. He's predicting something by seeing us, like whoever going to take going seek for future, what is going to be destination. So maybe the person who is the businessman, actually I call it businessman. So he's predicting by see us. If I'm looking not comfortable or I'm not confident, or if I'm feeling sick, he can judge. Like you are sick, then something is going to be happening in 2 days. So it's just strategy, predicting, nothing else.
Not kind of zodiac. Zodiac tell you something like what is your behavior, what gonna be like you person you like. Some of country believe this zodiac.
At first, he or she asks you some question, then he start to talk about you.
Do you guys believe in personality tests?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's actually personality
Okay.
test.
Why do you guys believe in personality tests?
Because of some theory that
She believes in zodiac. Why do you believe in personality? Same thing.
no, sir, I have some explanation
Oh
about
yes.
personality.
Let's hear it.
Because of একটু বাংলা বলি, ওয়ার্ডটা আমি জানি না। মানে বেসিক্যালি যেগুলো আসলে সিরিয়াল ক্লিয়ার,
English, please.
আমি স্যার থেকে পারমিশন নিছি না।
Okay, fine. Continue, please.
কি
Continue.
বলছিলাম? আচ্ছা, সিরিয়াল ক্লিয়ার যারা আছে না,
Serial killer.
কিলার, তো এরা স্যার হচ্ছে হলো দেখা যায় কি সমাজে আমাদের মতোই ঘুরতে থাকে। যখন ওদেরকে ধরা হয় তখন ওদের এরকম একটা টেস্ট নেওয়া হয় যে ওরা কি কি মানে করছে বা না করছে ওদেরকে ধরার জন্য, কারণ ওরা নর্মাল মানুষদের মতনই প্রথমে বিহেভ করে, দেন ওদেরকে এরকম টেস্ট নেওয়ার পরে বোঝা যায় ওরা কোন টাইপের আর কি আছে। এই ক্ষেত্রে মনে হয় পার্সোনালিটি টেস্ট নেওয়া হয়, আই থিঙ্ক। আমি এটা একটু দেখছিলাম মানে আর কি স্যার।
But why do you believe in it is why I'm asking you the question. Why you?
Because স্যার এটা থেকেই তো রেজাল্ট জানা যায় যে সে কতটা পরিমাণ হিংস্র। কারণ আপনি মনে হয় বুঝতেছেন না।
What are you talking about exactly?
Yes, go ahead.
প্লিজ গো।
I would like to know your opinion about that.
About what?
About this one.
About what one?
Right.
Explain your.
The personality
Look,
test.
you have to formulate your question properly. Otherwise, I don't know what you're asking me.
Personality test.
What about personality test?
The opinion, do you believe or not?
Personality test.
Yes.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. It is like listening to fortune telling.
Oh,
That is what I believe. You guys don't have to agree with me. That is what I believe. I'll tell you why. So I go to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller tells me this and that is going to happen. You're going to be you're this kind of person, or you'll have this kind of success. I take a personality test. The personality test does a pretty similar thing. The personality test will tell me that you're this kind of person, and you will end up like this. I think the problem is that there's a problem here.
Welcome back.
The problem is if you take a personality test, you decide for yourself. If you trust it, you decide for yourself what kind of person you are and where you're going to end up. Because you could change. Let's say there's something that you're not good at. You could become better at it. Let's say you're not a very social person. For example, your personality test tells you you're not a social person. You would do better if you do things that are, behind the computer. But look, that is your weakness. You could work on that weakness. Maybe you could become more social, and maybe you can do something else. So I am basically setting up my future based on a personality test. Why should I do that? Same thing with a fortune teller. Fortune teller tells me, and I start making decisions based on that. This is where I find these things problematic. I don't want other people to influence me about how my future is going to become.
Yes.
I want to work on my own future on my own, right?
Sir, but there is some ways that you can judge, not judge. You can predict that person could be like that. Like I'd like to share a story. In my childhood, one day I found a book. That was a little book, maybe 10 or 20 taka. Some of my brothers purchased that. So I found a book. The name of the book was in Bengali. I say Bengali. যার সাথে করবেন ভাব বুঝে নিন তার স্বভাব। হ্যাঁ, ওটার নাম ছিল এরকম। তো from that book I got some point. Okay, like you can just you can predict a person by your handwriting, or there are some such a ways that was described throughout this book. So I found much interesting, and I try to relate these things with the person. Okay, so I found that it's really
Okay.
it's really happened in my case. So that's the interesting.
What happened in your case?
বাংলায় বলি তো বাংলায় যে মানে কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে দেখা গেছে যে এই পার্সন এই লোকটার হাতের লেখা যদি এরকম হয় তাহলে লোকটা হচ্ছে এইভাবে আপনাকে সে ভালো বোঝাতে পারে, বা যদি এরকম হয় যদি হাতের লেখা পাকা তেরা হয় সে হচ্ছে তার এই ফিউচার এরকম এবং রিলেট করছে যে এরকম হচ্ছে। আবার কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে দেখা গেছে যে পার্সনটা হচ্ছে তার ফেসের শেপ হচ্ছে এরকম, তার নাকের শেপ এরকম, যার নাকের শেপ এরকম সে হচ্ছে বেশি ঝগড়া করে, সে এরকম এটা হয় সেটা হয়। তো আমি রিলেট করে দেখছি যে আসলে মিলে।
Please, don't. Look, you guys are not kids anymore. Stop doing this. Look, I think there might be some science to it.
Yes,
There might be some science to it. It may also be wrong. I've not really delved into this kind of study, because you see, what you're suggesting is very complex. You're saying that the kind of body I possess
yes.
dictates the kind of personality that I will have. Do you understand?
মানে আমি এরকম আমার এলাকাতেই ছিল একটা মহিলাকে দেখতাম খুবই ঝগড়া বেশি।
No. But in English now.
Okay. So I found that woman, she's raw. Sometimes whenever all time he's called his husband for any reason. So for any reason. So sometimes like most of the people, basically our neighbor, they are so much interrupted by this woman. So I wanted to relate something from that book. One thing I got, one point, that is if your nose is like এটা কি বলে মানে ধারালো বা চুক্কা এরকম কি একটা বলে। So these kinds of women or these kinds of person, they become so rude, or they all time ঝগড়াটে টাইপের হয়। So এরকম তো আমি দেখলাম যে আসলে আমি মিলাই দেখলাম যে এটা ঠিক আছে।
Look, again, just let it go.
Personality.
No, sir, I'm not
Because
saying
he
about
already
any
told me that before. That's why I related.
Okay, look, we have to get out of this personal problems, okay?
Yes.
Don't take anything personally, just move on, please move
I'm
on.
just telling one thing from that book.
Okay. Look, why are you believing in what he says? Right. You don't have to believe in what he said. It's not even that funny. You think it's funny. It's not even that funny. I don't find it funny, to be honest. Where were we? Sorry. Let's keep continuing.
When we gaze up.
Gaze. When we gaze up the stars. Okay, I want somebody else to read. Who wants to read? When we gaze up at the stars.
When we gaze up at the stars, we see a veritable chaos of twinkling dots.
Veritable chaos.
Veritable chaos of twinkling dots. Nevertheless, throughout the ages, there have always been people who believe that the stars could tell us something about our life on Earth. Even today, there are political leaders who seek the advice of astrologers before they make any important decision. The oracle at Delphi. The ancient Greeks believed that they could consult the famous oracle at Delphi about their fate. Apollo, the god of the oracle, spoke through his priest Pythia. who sat
Priestess.
Priestess Prithia, who sat on a stall over a feature in the earth, from which